Ya. Hello,
Hello. Hey, everyone.
Danielita.
Nicolito, how are you?
I'm good. I love how that makes me look like I have hair. Look at that.
One.
Right here.
Oh.
Look at, oh
Like,
my God, my
you
hair
have
is in my
bangs.
face. Yeah. And then it's like, nah, not really. How's it going, Danielita?
Everything's good. How are
Good.
you? Come here. You're like out of the frame.
Scared of you. What?
Oh.
How are you?
I'm good, as I said.
Okay. So
I'm good. How are you?
Berica, I'm gonna say hello to the people that are here. No, we don't need it. No. And in fact, today is my
Oh.
my week, so I'm gonna
Okay.
be on the controls.
Okay.
Berica, how you doing? Patricio Juarez, hey.
Because they said hello before.
Oh.
So that's why I wanted to go up and say hi. Because I know that Rosalind's here, Alejandro is here, Ivan is here,
Liad is here.
Liad is here, but I want to see
I
up.
took a chance on Liad. I didn't know.
Because I want to know if
Okay.
there's more people.
Roslyn, Alejandro,
Yeah.
Iván, ¿cómo está? Buenos días. Liad, Roslyn. So,
Patricio.
Juan Cuevas, hola.
Hi, Patricio.
Hello.
Hi, Paston. Hola, Margo.
So, this is our...
Hi, Hannah.
Hannah, how you doing? This is our
7th.
7th. So, the beginning of the third... What?
Yeah, 7th.
Beginning of the
Oh, the
fourth.
fourth.
Fourth
Yeah.
week. Wow. So, beginning of the fourth week of our visual correspondence.
Yeah.
Where... Hola, Leslie. Where...
And hi, the amazing Vaughn.
which I'm guessing they're Vaughn, but where we're having like this visual correspondence where I started proposing an image to you and you answered back with an image. And for those of you who don't know, on Mondays we do a different sort of video where we show the painting, but more importantly, we try to chat around the painting and almost like freely try to exteriorize like a bunch of ideas that we know are behind charging the making of the image or the painting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been so adventurous with our with the media.
No.
You know, I've done paintings, you've done paintings.
Yeah, because also I've thought about doing sculptures.
Yeah.
But I'm worried about like the packaging.
Oh,
like shipping.
Dude, I could say I'll do that because I've shipped hundreds of paintings in my life, but I know that you would love to do packaging for your sculptures.
Yeah, I love you, but
that
I
stuff.
would be
no,
the
no,
one
I
that
wouldn't be able
creates
to
my
touch
sculptures.
that. Yeah, no.
So, no, yeah.
Danny
but
would make a crate as big as his apartment just so it's
for
like
a
safe.
tiny sculpture.
So it's like super safe.
Yeah,
that would be a work of art in itself, actually.
Because now that you say that,
Yeah.
I don't know if people are interested, but maybe I will be putting up some
Woo!
sculptures.
I
in the
love that.
webpage.
I love
Just
that.
to
Start small.
be there. If
Start
someone,
slow, like
if
4 or
someone wants
5.
them.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I think
4 or
that-
5. That's a huge number. For me.
No, come on. You could do 4, and that's like
Yeah.
we haven't talked about this, but I'm super happy if you want to do that.
No, I want to do it.
That's always been our
I
page.
feel ready.
It's like our storefront, so
Yeah.
it's not the place where just the paintings that I do go up for sale. It's our storefront.
Yeah.
So
And I also think that maybe I haven't done any sculpture because of the times.
yeah,
Because I don't know why, but it takes a lot longer for me to do
Maybe.
carving, like a wood carving.
but I think that
So-
I know you, so I think that if you told yourself I have a week to whittle this, you would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I would be
I would
here
trust
that
you.
Monday, like full,
Yeah, maybe you're like, "Hi,
like,
guys."
yeah, and like terrible under eyes.
yeah. Or you're like
super-
I'm just gonna take this little bit out. Oh, the nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a sphinx now.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm gonna start. Let's get started. Let's get started.
You wanted to say that because that's
No, I haven't said that in so
original
long.
OPL.
I know. That was our intro.
yeah.
But so I'm gonna start. I haven't thought this out, to be completely honest with you. I don't have anything prepared.
Well,
but
but
I know
you-
that if I just start talking, then it'll come out.
Okay. So you're gonna talk first and then show me
Yeah.
the image?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna-
like that. That's the way
I'm not
I
going to
do
speak
it.
about the image, but I'm going to tell you what prompted
the
me.
why.
Like the things that you said and the things that I saw in your image that kind of pushed me to do the painting that I did for today.
Awesome.
So I thought, and we talked about this the last week. I thought that the image that you did was very tough to do, and we were not speaking about just formal qualities of like the execution of the image, but just tackling a very sensitive subject matter is always difficult. It's always super, super difficult, and I think that particular subject matter was difficult, and I'm not going to say difficult for you as in like somebody else could have done this, but no, it was just objectively difficult because there were also like layers of difficulty. Like it wasn't just something that was emotional. It was a lot. It almost had like roots growing out of it and just making it far, far too difficult to deal with. And I was even telling you, I don't know if I could have done that painting because, for example, I don't know if I told you, but I painted my grandmother when she had Alzheimer's.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that painting.
No.
It's a very nice painting. I remember my father really liked it, and I remember my father's sisters, they really liked it. My aunts really, really liked that painting. But also this to be true, which is that my relationship with my grandmother was not the relationship that you have with your grandparents.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah, my grandmother was my father's mother was super distant and cold and serious.
Because I have a super close bond with my grandparents.
We didn't really have grandparents growing up. Like my grandfather was German, so I mean, of the ones that were alive, which were my grandfather, my mother's side, and my grandmother and my father's side. My grandfather was German, so no emotions there. And my grandmother, my father's mother, she was just tough, like super, super tough. You wouldn't sense in her, just, I don't know what you think of a grandmother, like, how I see my mother and how she is with like, my son and daughter and my niece.
Spoiling and
That's sort of archetypical, grandmother. That was not my grandmother. So I did paint her, but there was a distance. There was a really big sense of like detachment when I painted her. I found it fascinating because I saw my father's pain when he was looking at her, but it wasn't my pain.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really paint about something that I don't own, that doesn't belong to me. So even though I did paint my grandmother, when she was suffering from Alzheimer's, it's not the same painting. That's what I was trying to say, that I didn't have to deal with anything that you dealt with. Nothing, none of those variables. I just painted the painting, so it was one of those days that I went with my father to visit her, and I took some photos and I painted her. But I hope it's not as cold as I'm making it sound. But I think compared to what you were doing, it is relatively very, very cold. So I thought. So that was like a tangent. But I thought it took a lot of courage. I usually associate courage with honesty in art because many times it's so difficult to try to define honesty. It's one of those things that you always say, try to be honest. But what does that mean? Like, we can't judge how, if somebody is being honest. Some people are really good at lying in the art world. The art world is like full of people that lie. But it's super hard to identify it. And many times, I mean, we've kind of gone through that where we look at something and you just have this feeling that you just say,
it's not
that is real.
Oh.
Yeah, these people are not lying.
Yeah.
These people, like, only somebody who could tap into very honest things would be saying the things that they're saying.
Yeah.
But once again, this is kind of after the fact because you have to see the painting and then you have to like say, I don't know, there's something, something in there, and you could try to verbalize it. And I guess, even without context, you could try to make an argument as to how you identify why something is honest. But it's very tough. I mean, it is, almost, it's impossible that it's not subjective. So, but one of the things that throughout life I've noticed is that when people are very courageous with what they do, there is a sense of honesty because they are, while you're attempting to do something, you also know that there's a huge room for judgment or failure. So you are risking something that means a lot to you. Mm-hmm. And I think that not every work of art has to be that way. Not every honest work of art has to be about courage. But I think a lot of those courageous works of art, they do have an underlying sense of honesty.
Yeah, and they're vulnerable.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that that's what you were doing. I really do feel that that's that was at the core of that really beautiful, kind of sensitive, very quiet image. It was very, very beautiful. So I told myself, I think that one of the things that I've always believed in is that we can, when we are part of a community, be it an artistic community or we're just surrounded by, people we love or friends. Well, we usually love friends, but so like a caring community, you can actually kind of not extract, because that seems like a little violent, but you can share that courage. If somebody's being like super forthcoming with something that is hard for them to do, like the community usually rallies, for them, and it's very nice to feed off of that energy. Is actually super, super cool. That's one of the things that I think we deeply miss when COVID hit, and even though we do feel there's a lot of us that feel very comfortable at home, there is something to be said about just people that are working together. They don't have to be like-minded people. Not everyone has to agree on everything, but it's just this energy of people just pushing forward and pushing and pushing. And sometimes you'll realize that you don't have the strength to do something, like the fortitude to do something, but you can kind of share, that shared experience. You can take it from that. You can take that extra strength from that and use it to do, whatever was seemingly, kind of like out of reach. Mm-hmm. So that's what I saw. That's what I said. I was like, I am deeply respectful of like your honesty and your courage, and I'm gonna try to do like a very honest image, like a, courageous. I'm not going for like medals here. This is not where I'm not looking for sympathy or like, oh, that's so courageous. No. Because that's also the thing. Like courage means like super different things for many different people. Yeah. Sometimes what is easy for a lot of people, it takes like, the strength of a mountain for somebody, even 100%. Like waking up can be just like this Herculean act for some people, while other people just go on their days. So courage doesn't really mean the same thing, or levels of courage. But, I'm not here to try to say like how much courage you have to exhibit in a work of art. And it's not about just one-upping the other person. Like we're not competing against, we're not competing to see who is more courageous, because that's absurd also. But I do think that I took what you did and I said, what is difficult for me? And what is something that I usually avoid because it's kind of hard for me to do? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've heard me, but I've always, for example, said that I don't feel comfortable when other people paint me or photograph me. I'm kind of insecure about that. So for painting, I can't remember. I mean, other people have painted me, from photographs they find and stuff like that. And I feel super at home when caricaturists paint me, for example, because I always feel like it's awesome when they can feel like they have absolute liberty to do what they want. And I feel most comfortable when it's like, go nuts, go crazy, do whatever you want with me. But if it's like if there's a painter painting me, like, or if there's a sculptor like David Simon, who's amazing, he runs the Rome workshops. I felt so uncomfortable, but I mean, not because of him or Ish that they were taking my measurements. No, it had nothing to do with that. But just sitting there and having him take like 300 pictures of me.
Yeah.
Because it was just
Super
like
intimidating.
yeah, it was like so hard for me. And they would rotate me and take more pictures, rotate me more pictures. And he would measure with the calipers, the calipers. He would measure every single bit of me.
So crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
I was doing it for David because I admire him as a sculptor, as an artist, as a friend, I would say also. And I was like, okay, I'm here for David, but I'm like, I think I was sweating when I was there. I was very, very uncomfortable. And it's not that I don't feel, it's not like, oh my God, he's going to see my pores, or I don't know. It's something beyond that. It's not about like the little stuff that, I could care less about those little things. It's just like a bigger, I don't know. It's like a bigger thing. And, which is kind of weird because I've always thought of, I always tell myself, like, when I look at people, I always see the good, like what I think it's like the good. I never see, like, I'll never, if I want to paint somebody, I'll never make fun of them.
Yeah.
Never. So I always see like good. And I always tell myself, well, that's how other people would see me. So you don't have anything to worry about. But I painted myself today.
Mm-hmm.
But I also painted my body today.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going to say a version. I'm going to be super honest. Like a version of my body. But I do have I'll start by saying I do have a very distorted sense of my body.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure of that too. And I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be tough, but it's kind of weird. You know how something I remember, it's a painting that you've probably seen. I painted myself, I don't know, maybe, let me see. It's probably like 15 years ago, something like that. A little more than that. No, more than that. Kind of like 17 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Painted myself like a grisaille, and I'm just kind of like looking up. I had some
Without a shirt?
without a shirt and some
Yeah.
hair, like and it's got like a cool painting.
I think it's
I
super
look at
cool.
myself and I can see myself there. And I remember one day at class, we weren't looking at that painting, but I was trying to show
Some
my
paintings,
students
yeah.
some other painting, and I was just searching for that painting, and they were like, oh, let's see that one. And they were like, oh my God, who is this like little fat guy? And I was like, that is me. But it's not as if I was saying like, that is me, I find that offensive. It's just that at that moment, like I never thought of myself as being like fat or no. I mean, I was, not the body I had when I was 16 for sure. But I always felt I was like, yeah, it's okay. Like that's my body. It is what it is.
But I've seen that painting and I've never
I
thought.
know, but it's so
like-
amazing how the perception changes with and I'm not generalizing, but with generations.
Yeah.
So because nowadays,
I think they were just
know.
trying to be like.
no, because they didn't know it was me at the time.
Yeah,
Because
but
of my hair and stuff, they thought it was somebody else. And I remember thinking like, wow, I would have never been like, I would have never had that like immediate reaction to
Yeah.
that painting.
And
to
I
that-
know that you're saying that it was not like bad intended, but I would say that even if it wasn't you,
Yeah.
I don't think you should react like that to a
Well,
like.
it was-
Oh, that fat guy! Like
it was.
what?
I mean, there's people
No,
like
I
that. There's
mean,
people that see somebody and they just say,
not okay. With that.
tall, short, fat, skinny, whatever. There's people that are super.
Yeah.
You just describe the most superficial quality of a person, like instantly.
Yeah.
So I always felt that was kind of funny that was the immediate reaction, and I was like, oh my God, no. But I also believe that has to do with the like perception of younger kids now. I mean, young kids now, it's like here in Bogota. Well, let's say in our faculty, and like they're skinny as
Some.
Yeah, again,
Some kids.
I don't want to like generalize, but it's the male body, certainly from when I was younger to when to nowadays, you can see that kids are slender, taller, much taller than my generation, and they're just like skinnier. Like you can sense that, you could see that. Like I could objectively state that because I remember what we looked like. There's pictures of us, and you can see how what you would associate with like a kid's body and what these male young kids, young men look like now. So maybe for them that's quote unquote normal, and then if they see something that kind of is outside that realm, they go like, oh, that's fat. But that was I was always like, oh, that's yes, for sure. But and I was always like, you've seen me, and I've shown pictures and stuff, but I was like a fat kid. My mother is still like, love is blind, so my mother has always said that I was never fat. Yeah, but I was objectively like a fat kid. Objectively, I think we can say that. Chubby kid, you could. I've heard it all in my life, so I don't get like, it's fine. Any of those suits me, and that's totally fine. So for me now that I'm older, also, just going back to painting my body, because I don't paint a lot of like bodies anymore. Like I painted you. I did a painting, and I didn't even finish like those paintings.
And that was a long time ago, like 5 years ago.
Right. I did like a nude of you a long time ago, and then I just stopped.
I think the last one you did was maybe remember Diana, the model, for an exposition you did.
Right.
But that was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
And you remember that I was doing like other ones that I was grading.
Yeah,
but I never finished them.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, what am I doing? Like, I don't want to do these paintings. And so for some reason, I kind of stopped painting the body. A lot of people ask me why. I don't know why. I think my gaze turned elsewhere, to be completely honest. And so in many ways, even though I've done like these exercises of like academies, those feel super, super formal. Those feel like, okay, that's like nothing. That is just a photo. And yes, you try to get the character, and you try to look at the mechanics of the body, and you push things, but it's very different. It's very, very different than actually trying to say something about the body. So this is actually what's I'm going to tell you what happened, and then I'm going to show you the painting. So initially I thought, because I took some pictures and I looked at the pictures and I was horrified. I was like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. I even thought before painting myself, I was like, I can't paint this. I was like, I can't paint myself. Like, this is too much. How am I going to show myself like that? That's my torso. And I thought, oh, no. And then at some point, I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to paint myself. And this week is about that. It is about painting a tough painting. Whatever that means for any of us. For some people, tough is not going to be, you could just define tough or define courage in any way you want. But for me, it was that. Like, my torso has always been like, I've always seen it like wider than, I know I have like a wide-ish back. But it was just like, it's always been like a tough subject matter for me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to paint it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to fight through this. And just, even though I have to be honest with you, it was like, as soon as I was painting, it was this weird thing. And I don't know if you guys have felt this, but it's one of those paintings that you want to paint, but at the same time, you just don't want to paint it. Mm-hmm. You really don't. You feel the painting just rejecting you almost. And it's very hard to connect with something like that. So even though I started, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to finish this painting. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be fine or this is going to be cool. Like, I don't feel good about it. I was hoping that immediately by deciding to paint it, you just empower yourself. Mm-hmm. I was like, yes, I'm going to do this. And it's super empowered. And not really. Not really. No.
If it's something that's hard for you, like you're like conflicting yourself every time you put
Yeah.
of the brush.
And I thought it was
So
going to
it's-
be like immediate, like, okay,
yeah, like
the
empowering.
decision, right? You make the decision, you take that decision, and then suddenly you're filled with courage
Mhm.
just because you're willing to commit to that decision. And no,
No, that's like the
No.
fairy tale version
oh
of it.
yeah, that
I
doesn't
don't
work
think
that way.
that's how
No.
it works.
So
Never.
I had to like fight through the initial moments of the image, just kind of blocking in and just realizing the sort of proportions are, this is going to be, it's obviously disproportioned, and but I think it's very close to how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Like
one of those
how
things.
you perceive yourself.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe even. I think it is very much so about how I feel, and it probably is it probably is about how I perceive myself. So
Because I do think that we have, like, all of us have distorted versions of ourselves. Like
yeah.
sometimes I've told you, like, hey, look, this is terrible, and you're like, what? What
Yeah,
are you talking
and
about? Like, I don't even see
it.
what you're
Exactly.
talking about.
Yeah, and I don't say it.
And that happens to me too. When sometimes
Yeah.
you say, hey, look at this, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I can't see what you're trying to show me. I'm sorry,
yeah,
but I can't. And that happens a lot. I mean, sometimes you even have like a pimple or something,
yeah.
and you feel that everyone's going to notice,
Oh,
and everyone's
It's like
judging you,
It's like a neon sign just
and nobody
pointing,
cares.
and
I
nobody
mean,
cares.
they're
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe they see something, and they don't even think about
Good
the
people.
specific.
Good people
It's
never
like-
care.
Yeah, well,
I've noticed.
there's
They're all- like
lame people that like to make
the idiot
fun
will
of
always say
everything,
will
but-
always point it out, but
Yeah, but that happens a lot with a lot of things, like, and that happens a lot with how you see your physical aspect of yourself. So
yeah. So up until now, it all sounds horrible, because it was kind of horrible. But I have to say something. It's actually super cool. It was a moment. Don't tell me when. Like, technically, I don't know why. I don't know what it was. But there was a moment where I saw the painting and I was like, this is a cool painting. Like, I may still have like issues with just looking at myself and, body, perception and just body distortion. I'm sure that this doesn't cure that. But for some reason, at some point, I was like, oh, hell yeah, this is a cool painting. Like, I like this now. And I kind of worked until I realized that was the feeling that I was feeling. Like, that feeling overcame everything else. So I can't tell you that it was courage. Like, courage in the sense that I could take my shirt off now and be like, yeah, I'm doing the video, shirtless. No, we're not even close to that, please. But it was, so I didn't encounter that which I thought I was going to get. I just got something different. I don't know how to express that feeling.
but it's a sense of power too. I mean, it's kind of empowering in a different way.
really know.
It's like, because it's like a way of being okay with what you.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I'm trying to figure
feeling
out.
Like if like you felt it was cool.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna like land on that word. As if I had like 12 years. If I was 12 years old and I just couldn't or didn't have like a big enough vocabulary to try to find something that expresses it like more succinctly or. But it was just, I felt cool. Like I didn't feel cool as in that's me and I'm cool. But I felt what I'm doing is cool.
But I think
and
that's
I thought
a
that was
step
super.
of
Yeah.
empowerment.
I don't know.
I do think.
I don't think
it
I've
is.
ever, or maybe I'm just realizing that I've never felt empowered. but I just and when I got to that place, like when I was able to, like I remember stepping back and saying, that's actually like a super cool image. I stopped because I was like, I don't know if I want to just paint something for the sake of painting it. Like, I don't know if the point was just to take that further and just speak about like my folds and all wrinkles and all the little things. Like trying to be honest in that way, like excessively honest. Like, I don't think, like, I really spent time with the painting and I thought, I don't think that that's going to make me feel better or worse. Like it really, it's not about that. I think that what the painting was about was just saying, I saw myself and I was horrified, and I didn't want to paint myself because I thought, oh my God, this is going to be a reflection of me. So everything about that painting is me, and that horrified me. And then I thought, at some point, then I thought, this is coming together. And when that feeling sort of overcame the other feeling didn't exist. It's so cool. Like now that I'm talking about it because I recall the feeling, but when I look at the painting, I just see a cool painting, and I'm super happy about that. So I guess I stopped at that moment. So it's one of those paintings that I had a hard time saying, should I keep going just to, formally execute this painting to whatever degree I think should be executed? And I started touching it up like in some areas, and I realized I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think the painting is about that. So I stopped, and I was, I think that ever since I got to that moment, I felt like so much comfort. And I don't know, it's amazing. I think that's one of the things. I know that I sound like, I don't know what I sound like really, but when I speak about, what is, when you take away the image, or when you take away like the expected painting, the resulting painting, that object of art that is the painting. If you take that away, like what do you have when you look back and when you reflect upon the painting act? Like, what do you have? And is that, or can that be as valuable or more valuable than, that object that we have decided as a species to idolize, because we do. And I know that it's super hard to make an argument for this, this painting act being meaningful, because it sounds like super esoteric. It really does. I mean, there's nothing that I could point to say this is why it's meaningful. In the same sense that there's nothing that I can point to tell you why when I stopped, I felt okay. Like why when I said, oh, I'm going to paint this, I feel okay now. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But what I do know is that is more important than whatever I painted. It's dependent on the painting, because the painting is what made me feel that way.
Yeah.
But I think it's bigger than the painting. I mean, that's been my argument forever. But no, not since forever, but for years now. And so I'm gonna show people.
Oh, but me.
Okay.
You should show me.
So turn a little bit, because you were turning too much towards the.
I don't know where it is, so it's not like.
No, because I just liquid it this morning because it was drying. So wait. So no. No. The other hand. Yeah, you should open your eyes. Just.
Wow, I love it.
So let me see. And for everyone to see, that's the painting.
I love it.
So that's I did one of the
super powerful image, Nicolas.
I did one of the sizes that we are working on
it's
every day.
A very big size.
Well, not very big, but
well, for me it's.
Let's see if we can sort the glare out. Yeah.
Amazing.
So I still really like it. I still see the image and I feel like, yeah, it's me. But this feeling that like I've been getting older, and I guess that's, that all of us get older. But with me, it's kind of weird because I think my body is wider and whiter, is very. Look at that! I'm blowing up the white balance on the camera. But I am getting wider, but I'm getting more fragile. Nature is horribly unfair, I feel. So I'm not as strong as I was like not even 5 years ago or like 10 years ago. And I know there's like a whole bunch of people now that age gracefully and they're like super, into exercising and eating well and like keeping, this idea of their bodies like when they were 25 and just maintaining that throughout their lives. But Liat, it looks warmer because our ring light is super yellow. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it's cooler here. It's a Zorn palette. It's actually quite a grayish painting.
So it's more accurate, the one that's on screen.
I think so. I'll try to take another picture if I feel that I was off. If I was a little off. But what was I saying? I forgot.
You were talking about people that age gracefully and making exercise.
There's people that are amazing. Yeah, there's people that, that they make it a point in their lives to just kind of like maintain that sense of body and that balance. I don't know. For me, it's been difficult my whole life. Like I've been up and down forever. Like I've been at times like super in shape and then not, and then in shape and then not, and then somewhat in shape and then not. I've never been able to do that. I don't know. It's just, I mean, I'm sure that if we had like coaches here that would be like, yeah, you could do it. Yeah, sure, I could do it. But come on. But what is wonderful about that truth, because it is my truth, is that it's very hard to come to terms with just like your body feeling like I feel more like a block, like block-ish. You know how we used to say that like Alfonso was like a tree, like an old tree. Mm-hmm. Like hugging Alfonso was like this rock. It's like this dude was just solid. I'm not a solid. I would say there's a little cushioning there, but it's really funny how just there are all these like disproportions going on, and I think I have like strong hands because I've always worked with my hands, but my arms are getting weak. Like my shoulder still hurts. My rotator cuff still hurts. My, like, if I have to be honest, my elbow hurts. My wrist hurts. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like, Jesus Christ, come on. What happened? Like, bury me now. And it's so funny to find yourself that you're occupying more space, but you're weaker. Like you're getting to be this older tree, but you're weaker. And so I just thought that was, I think, part of the coolness, I guess, when I realized, oh, this is cool now, is when I didn't really see myself. Because, for example, Fer came in one day and she saw the painting. And I was like, yeah, that's me. And she looked at me like, Dad, what are you, like, come on. Like, she looked at me like, what are you talking about? Like, come on, don't be stupid.
That's why I talk about, like, the perception you have of yourself and how the other people look at you and see you. Because I think that, like, that happens to me too. Like, I look in the mirror and I try to, like, dissect all the things that in my head are wrong. And I like accentuate all that.
Yeah.
So I don't see the whole, but I just see like the things that are quote unquote bad. Like the things that I would like to change or the things that don't make me happy.
Yeah.
So you just exaggerate that, but that's not how people see you.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's how some people see. I think that's, we can't judge other people's perceptions.
No, but I would say that you are always, and you referring to everyone, is their own most harsh judge.
Yeah, like worst
for
judge.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people are like super okay with themselves and they meet like people that are crazy mean, and that's, I mean, the world is mean. So
but you, like, you're super mean to yourself. Not you. But everyone's one is super.
One tends to be
super mean to
oneself.
Because we, as I said, like dissect every part of ourselves, and there are things that maybe other people don't even notice.
Yeah.
Or they just don't see it as a weird thing or as a different thing. It's just how it is, and that's all. Like, they don't even give it a second thought.
Yeah. So for me, it was like I was saying, for me it was really cool to have, when I saw that feeling, that I was saying, like, how am I supposed to be wider but weaker? Like, I don't know, for some reason that in my head it just kind of doesn't make sense. But when I saw that in the painting, and just making my arms like, kind of scrawnier.
And also in the gesture of the face, I would say. Because the face, I think, speaks a lot about... Because it looks like if you were uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But, like, you also feel fragile.
Yeah. I like that portrait. I thought...
I love it.
Yeah, I like it too. I see myself a ton in that portrait. Like, I feel myself.
But it's like you're hurting.
Well, it was like
it's like it's not easy
to
be there. It's like you're hurting by being there.
Yeah.
So I think that illustrates a lot of what you were talking about, the painting you wanted to do.
Yeah. It's like a sense of it's almost as if there was a like that commitment was a contract. It's sort of a contract that you can't. Well, you can do anything you want, but that with yourself that you can't break. And that's the painting. That's the doing of this painting. So that's why I was describing it as like, oh, I'm not having, like, this is not cool. This is suffering. This is, it's not a fun painting to do. And I'm so used to just having fun with painting.
Yeah.
Not having fun like, la-di-da fun, but just like enjoying painting.
Yeah, because I think for you, this was a hard exercise. As you said, it's kind of comparable to what I did, because I was also struggling when I was painting, because I said, like, I was painting, but I was like thinking all the time about my grandma and all the things related to her. And this is like you painting something that makes you feel insecure.
Like a grandpa.
So, no, but it's like saying to your brain, like, we're going to have this conversation that that you don't want to have ever.
Yeah.
Because you're with our own self insecurities, we're always like trying to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
But having you spending time painting this, it's like saying to yourself, we're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
I'm going to like acknowledge this thing that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Oh, and it was horrible, because I mean, if it was just like a post, like an Instagram post, like, I could do this. Like, honestly, you just paint that and post it and you just title it self-portrait and you're done. It's like you post it and goodbye. Mm-hmm. You don't look at your phone. You don't open Instagram. You don't look at social media, and who cares? In the end, who cares? Like, you don't have to engage with anyone. You don't have to look at the comments if you don't want to. It's almost like I'm going to throw this out there and then just walk away. But I know it was going to be like double as hard, because we were going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that makes it far more difficult too.
And that's why you would have to be like twice the courageous you would be. I don't know. I know you're always like, no. But let me tell you that makes the painting like 10 times more, like, speak more about courage. Because if it's something that's hard for you, like painting it and then talking about it, it's super hard.
Which again,
it's opening to people.
Again, I mean, it's a body we're talking about. That's like, in the grand scheme of things, this is nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah, but I think,
like I was saying at the beginning, sometimes things that mean nothing, that take no effort for, thousands of people, millions of people, maybe for some of us, it just, they are incredibly tough.
Yeah.
So yeah, but
I wouldn't say that it's not as important or as terrible, because I think
I try to be objective.
Yeah, but I think that the things that make you feel like scared about talking about that, or that make you feel insecure, they're not less valid because of what they are. That's why I said the example of having a pimple, because sometimes when I was younger and I was at school, I wouldn't even go to a party that I would love to go if I had pimples, because I felt so bad. And I was so into myself that I was like, I can't let people see me that way, because I don't feel good. And maybe looking back, I'm like, oh, I should have gone. But at the moment, that was a terrible thing for me. And that made me feel super bad. So that's why I'm saying that it's not less.
Yeah.
Because it's just a body. Oh, it's just, no. Yeah. I think it has a lot of weight.
No,
I mean,
it has a lot of weight.
No, I mean, no.
Good choice of words, Danny.
No, what makes you insecure?
I'm kidding. It was good. No. It was good. You know that.
What makes you insecure? It doesn't matter what it is.
It's a hefty proposition.
No, but it has weight. I mean, no. No, Nicolas, this is not funny.
I'm dying here.
No.
Oh,
you know what I'm trying to say. I
mean, I know.
You
it's a heavy subject matter.
It's worth out because it's something that is like a physical aspect.
Pound for pound, a difficult painting to do.
No, it's not funny.
Okay. Somebody was saying, let me see, Mr. Armor was saying the proportions remind me of a Titan from Attack on Titan. I've never seen, like, I know sure. My brain, the part of my brain that has seen a bunch of like imagery from anime knows what Attack on Titan is. And I've seen those giants, like those skinned giants. They're super, super cool. But I kind of, Mr. Armor, Danny, it has gravitas. But Mr. Armor, there was a feeling that I started feeling when I was doing the painting, which is that when I started feeling like a giant, like an actual giant, not an actual giant. There's no actual giants, but I started feeling like one of those colossi that would just go to like towns and just grab cows and eat them and sit on top of like cathedrals and that sort of stuff. It just I started feeling that way, like sort of like an out of body thing. And even like with the just like kind of scrawny little arms, it just kind of felt cool. It's almost like as if the arm can't really handle like those big wooden clubs, but it could just kind of like the whole body could just help the arm just wind that club up. So I felt very Goja-ish, like very, very Goja. I felt like I could inhabit a Goja painting. So I was like I thought it was super cool. I thought it was super, super cool. Like that when I started seeing myself not as myself, but as a character for some reason, that's when I started saying, oh my God, this is super cool. Like this character can be a cool character regardless of like shape or size or, proportions. It doesn't really quite matter. Like in this fantasy world, this could be a cool character. Like if I was playing a video game and this dude came out, I would be like, fuck yeah. Like that's so cool. I'm sorry. We're probably going to get like,
again.
Yeah, whatever. Who cares? But I would be like, oh, this is so cool. Like I would drop my controller and be like, oh, let me look at this dude. Cause this is super cool. This is super awesome. So I think that, I think that all these paintings that I do, like me as Penguin, me as Bib,
Hellboy.
Yeah, me as Hellboy, me as Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
I think they all kind of take me to this place because it's always like I think I find like the insecurities that I have are easier to deal with if I see myself as a character. Like if I do this balding Hulk. I mean, I've never cared about my balding, but if I do this balding Hulk, for some reason it just feels cool. Like it just looks and feels super, super cool. Like I see that and I'm like, oh, fuck it. Like, yeah, that's a cool character. So I don't know. It's like wearing these, almost like wearing these different sort of masks. But today's was based on like this real feeling, as opposed to the other ones where I'm trying to have like a ton of fun with myself, and I do feel like they're great exercises. This one was rooted in something that was, that was difficult,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually it turned into, I'm not going to say fun still, to be honest, but I'm going to say it turned into a different feeling, and a feeling that I realized, oh, this is not hurting. Like, how, I don't know how that happens, but how can something that starts as as something that's painful, through this weird act of painting becomes, and the reflection that goes hand in hand with painting, but becomes this other feeling, like this completely different feeling,
Mm-hmm.
where it just, takes you somewhere else. It transports you somewhere else. I thought that was super powerful, like super, super powerful. That's why I can look at this painting and see and see a cool painting. Like I would buy that painting. I mean, it sounds stupid. It sounds super
No,
stupid.
but it's a super cool.
But it's
That's
like
why,
a painting that speaks about what I like.
like,
It's like, this is the sort of painting that I would like to paint. Like these characters, I
No,
would
and it's
love
super
these characters to
powerful.
inhabit my paintings. So,
yeah. No, I was gonna say that's why when you show it to me, I was
Mhm.
like, wow, it's super powerful. Because I also think that when you see the image, you have that you were talking about, like honesty.
Mm.
Because we kind of, like, we can see what you were talking about, what you perceived of yourself, and like the honesty of how you saw yourself.
Yeah.
So I think it's super, super powerful image.
Shadow shapes, I really liked.
And
I
I
thought they were
loved
helping me a
The
ton.
freckles.
Oh yeah, my little moles. Yeah, I have
love
those are the ones that you could see from a distance, I would guess.
Yeah.
But I kind of, yeah, one I was gonna point at them with the mouse, thinking that people would see the mouse. Yeah, one above my navel, one
What's the
under my
navel?
navel, the belly button.
Oh.
So that one above I like, one under my sternum I really like,
One here.
and there's like a bit of them here,
Yeah.
which are kind of cool. And I didn't do my my tattoos because I thought, I don't know if I want to make this about, like, this was like a bigger sense of body, and a body that is, it's an idea of the body that probably, dates back to moments where I had no tattoos in my arms or anything. So it's just like, it was important for me to
Like
say
a
body.
temporal?
Well,
Can say
yeah.
that's when you- A temporal? No.
How do you say that? Maybe it works.
Yeah? Because
Yeah.
it sounds weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was trying to get to that kind of bigger sense of body, like bigger definition.
Timeless.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
But the other,
timeless.
but maybe the other word was
Atemporal? A temporal?
maybe it works. But anyways, I think that's it. It's a super, I don't know what else to say about it. It's kind of like punch in your face painting, I feel. At least for me. I mean, punch in my face painting. So it's it's just like this presentation of a body. So yeah. And I think it's really, I didn't even look at the other painting, the one I was referring to. The one from like 16, 17 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably even more than that. I didn't want to look at them side by side. I know that they are kind of partners in some way.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's you. So they
yeah,
are
but
partners.
they feel different. They
Mhm.
feel very different. I can tell you right now, the other one never, like, my brain was somewhere else and my perception was somewhere else,
Mhm.
and it just didn't feel vulnerable at all. Even if it's like whatever, if I was 5 pounds lighter or whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's not about that. It's not. It really isn't. So, but I didn't want to look at it because I didn't want it to condition this kind of new painting. So yeah. I'm happy with it. I like the portrait too. It's very, you know, I did my shadow mask and I started just laying in lights, and then as soon as I had it, I was like, I'm gonna stop. Like, that's the role that the portrait has to play.
Mm-hmm.
Because it wasn't about the portrait, it was about the body. Like, the portrait just has to be there, acknowledging the body, acknowledging itself as part of this body. But it wasn't about, you know, my face up there. So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I am super lost for my answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, because you know how I was, and I kind of mean it. I don't think. I mean, you could do whatever you want. So I'll try to word this well. So I hopefully I'm not conditioning you in any way.
No, I think you're gonna say about trying to be more.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be more.
Yeah, exactly.
Vulnerable.
That's
now
pointless.
Me more and
yeah,
more
that's
and
pointless,
more. Like
pointless. And that's why when we were talking at the beginning, I was trying to frame it as something that, you know, I was feeding off some of that courage that you were giving me with the last painting. But I also acknowledge that it's not, we don't have to get into this kind of winding, loop of courage, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what that means even. I really don't. Like, I would say this is not like, you know how there are many artists that this painting, for example, would detonate like a bunch of work.
Yeah.
A bunch of like, you know what? I am going to paint myself and feel comfortable about myself. And that's super cool.
Yeah, like the whole structure of their work can become
And then you do a whole show or you do a whole series of paintings of this is me. And when you socialize them, you are like, this is me. Mm-hmm. Like, this is super empowering. This is me. I am here. You know, I'm literally naked in front of you guys. I need this. I need to feel this power. That's not my case right now. To be completely honest with you, super not my case. I just needed to go through this painting. Sometimes I feel like academically, you know, in institutions, this would be the sort of work that would, you know, teachers would say, oh, let's explore this further. Oh, let's do more. Or let's see how far we can take this.
Push it.
Right.
Let's push it, yeah.
And I could tell you right now, no. I mean, we're not in school, so no.
Yeah.
First of all. And second, no, because it's not a work that is prompting me to push further and further. Yeah. I think it's like, I actually love the direction that it threw me, which was completely different. And just seeing like out of body, but in a good sense. I'm not saying out of body as in denying my body. I mean, I think it's quite impossible to just say, I painted myself, but that's not my body. That's absurd. But out of body in the sense that, you know, painting sort of lifted me somewhere and it made me see some, like, the possibilities that are there far beyond what I was looking at, which was like tunnel vision of thinking, oh, that's just my body. Like, that's just a, you know, terribly out of shape body. And that's it. The painting is just going to be about that. And it's just going to be about me saying, hey, look at my terribly out of shape body. And I'm done. And painting was like, dude, no. Like, that's not the point of painting. I mean, it is if you want, sure. But that's like very on the nose, you know. But you can kind of start to believe that this is broader and broader and broader and broader and cooler. And you can imagine like tons of possibilities. So, and that's where my head went. Yeah. So I thought it was really amazing. Yeah. I don't usually.
Oh, go ahead.
No. Just to end, I don't usually experience that when I'm painting. I feel like I'm like more. I control my. I mean, even though I'm, you know, half the time I have no idea what I'm doing, but I kind of feel like I can control my painting. Like I can, you know, I am piloting the Titanic, but I'm piloting it nonetheless. Like, it's like, don't worry, I know we're going to crash and die, but I'm on the wheel I mean, that's sounding super weird. I don't know where I was going with that. But like
you have control,
like
even though it finished.
Yeah, like a
the end
false
is
sense
terrible.
of control
Yeah.
with an image that I already know before I started is going to, get the best of me. Because I think every single image just get the best of us. And that's usually how I feel about painting. And this one threw me for a loop. Like this one was like, well, this is different. Like this feels different. And like I said, it's not a feeling that I'm like, I want to go there. I'm sure that maybe 19 out of 20 painters say, oh, I'm going to go there. Maybe I'm the one painter out of 20 that says, no, I actually wanted that feeling. I think that's super nice. That's super cool. But it's not, I don't want to hammer this sort of point across, or no, I just, I experienced that and I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
No, but I was going to say that it's also super interesting to me for this conversation, because I think that my perception of you is super different.
Yeah.
Of what you perceive of yourself.
Oh,
so it's
for
not
sure.
like I see this image and I think about how I judge myself too. But I also see that image and I see you in your eyes for the first time, because I've never seen you as you see yourself.
I know.
So it's super interesting for me, because it's like we've had conversations about your insecurities, my insecurities, but I can never grasp what you're talking about.
Right.
Because there's not a way for me to understand, because
right.
I see you and I see you in the way I see you.
Right.
And that's super difficult to change. But this is the first time that I'm like, okay, this is what you are seeing. This is what you are talking about. So I think it's super interesting, because it's like giving me a peek into your brain and like giving me the image of what your brain sees.
Yeah.
Which is super crazy. So that's why I also think it's super complicated for me to think about an answer to this correspondence.
Oh, I had no idea what I was gonna say when you showed me last time. It was terrible. I think that afternoon is terrible.
Yeah.
For me, it's always been like,
and my
like
brain is
Monday
always
afternoon. I'm always like, oh, come on.
I always end with a headache. I always tell you, I'm always with a headache.
I was even thinking like, I don't have grandmothers anymore. Like I don't know what to say.
So you were going to paint my other grandmother? Yeah, no, but I get you. And no, I was going to say that this is like a super, super like meaningful conversation for me, because it really opened a thing that I never had with you, because I've never seen you as you see yourself. So this makes me
your body.
No, and this makes me love you even more, because this makes me understand how you see. No jokes.
I'm kidding. No.
I mean, no, and I see you perfect, because I see that what you see, and I see you as how I see you, and that just gives me more love. I mean, there's not a thing. No, and I'm being super cheesy, but there's nothing that I would change, and I would also love for you to see you in my eyes.
Oh, very difficult. I know that they're very loving.
Because in your eyes is like I was gonna say tuerta, because that's how you paint me. Now I was gonna make a joke.
That was a bad joke.
Yeah. No, but
anyways.
Yeah, I think it's a very touching. You're trying to cut me because I'm being cheesy.
No, because I'm feeling uncomfortable.
Oh.
Yeah. It's just.
Yeah. No, so let's cut it there. But I was going to say
I'll just make a bad joke every time I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. You're going to press the stop.
Oh, yeah. We can end the stream right now. And I think I'm 5 pounds lighter just because of, all that I'm sweating.
Yeah. So. No. The last thing is that I wanted to say that this image like really got to my heart. So, let's see. I'm sorry.
Do you want to go all the way up?
Yeah.
Ooh, tough one.
Do you want me to read?
You're gonna do better than me because I don't have my glasses around.
No. I think you.
I mean, I can squint and read.
No, I can read perfectly.
You know.
Oh, and I have my new glasses, everyone.
Yeah, you do. You look
so
great.
Maybe tomorrow I'm gonna have my glasses on.
You look really good.
Leah said.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Good.
What were you saying?
I was saying you look really good with your new glasses.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Thank you. Leah
Beautiful
said.
glasses.
I think it's a great painting. I don't know how people have time to work out.
Me neither.
Yeah, Nicolas, I think you have a little bit of body dysmorphia.
I think since I was little. I think for me, since I was little. You know how I noticed? I remember, because I was very, very, fat, very chubby when I was a kid. So, but I used to swim like crazy. Ever since I was like 7 until like 17, I swam. And there was a point when I was like, I don't know, 14, 15, 16, then 17, where I still kind of saw myself as like, the kid that I was from 7 till 13, maybe 7 till 13. And I just always saw myself as that, always. And I remember once seeing, like, in some swimming meet, somebody took a picture of me and some friends. And I remember looking at that picture, because I used to never like photographs of myself. I still don't. And I remember the moment when I saw myself in that picture, and I was like, who is this person? Because I was like super fit, like ridiculously fit. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know why in a photograph, like this, printed thing, it became different for me. But clearly in my head, it was, I was still seeing like, the little kid that ate way too much bread and butter, and not this, this person that was, that actually was swimming for years and years and years, and then had this really cool body. So, yeah, it's, but I've never been able to like, that's in my head. That's in my head. So, yeah, probably.
Hannah was saying, wow, so powerful. Marcelo Peralta said, oh my, I really liked it. You really pushed shapes. Very committed mark making. This is great. The face is my favorite part. The way you solved almost entirely with 3 tones. Very bold.
Yeah, it's a Zorn palette, by the way. I don't know if I said it, but yeah.
And Marcelo said, and that three-sided pyramid right in the middle of the chest just pops out of the painting.
I like that one too, Marcelo. I really like that one. I really, really like that one, actually.
Iván dice, con este tipo de cosas a veces me gusta ser muy sincero, pero sin dejar de ser empático, y uno resulta siendo asertivo y a veces hasta útil. Todo eso para decir que de seguro esa pintura es una pintura maravillosa, en efecto, maravillosa. La alteración de las proporciones es exquisita. Roslyn said, painted beautifully, and I appreciate the ideas behind the work.
Thank you, Roslyn.
Alejandro said, Nicolas, it feels very honest, and I was going to say you feel like a... How do you say that?
Tree trunk.
Tree trunk?
Yeah,
but
tree trunk is in the same realm as brushstroke, I feel.
Yeah. Tree trunk? I think that's easy. Tree trunk.
You could do brushstroke then.
Brushstroke. No, tree trunk and brushstroke.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well,
yeah, perfect.
It sounds like something. I don't know if it sounds
tree
like
trunk
as
and
it should. No, tree trunk. I'm good with that. Tree trunk. Tree trunk.
I like that. Treetrunk.com. No, that's probably taken.
Patricio Juarez said, all I see is an amazing artist. This is fantastic, guys. Both incredibly emotive pieces.
Thank you.
Roslyn said, the shadow across the chest. Amazing. You painted your feelings. Bravo.
Yeah. I actually... There's a cast shadow of my nipple going down. It's like...
Where?
That's one of my favorites too. It doesn't... Let me see if we can...
Oh, but I wanted to see too.
Like there?
Oh, yeah. This one?
Yeah. It's like a little triangle.
Yeah. Oh.
I love it.
Yeah, that's
I love
amazing.
it. It's like
Oh, I haven't seen that because we don't have that good lighting here.
Oh, I know. It's just that I think this is good lighting for me. I feel super comfortable with this yellow lighting.
No, for me too. Yeah, because I remember when we were trying to set the first
Oh
time.
no, the other
Like
ones
the-
are like
The
oh
cold
my God,
one.
no.
It's like we were in the
morgue.
Morgue.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I feel dead and
Super,
alive at the
yeah.
same time.
Like you could even see my venas?
Veins.
Veins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't
I feel
flattering
dead
at
and
all.
dead and constipated at the same time.
Dead and horrible. I was
Yeah,
gonna say
so-
I feel dead and horrible.
Yeah. So that one is not doing it for me.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I think I was gonna try out for the podcast that we did with these bouncing off the ceiling. A little too harsh too.
Yeah?
I don't know. I think these are
These
they're
better.
very nice. Like this is like, you know, when you go to a bar and you go to the bathroom, you know, this is like bad lighting in a bar bathroom that you go like, you know what, I look good. And if you have like 2 beers on you, 3 beers on you,
you look amazing.
I look incredible. So I think this is our bar bathroom light. It's pretty cool. Not good for paintings, but it's pretty good.
Cody Winnicky said, I like the idea of specifically emphasizing the thing you're self-conscious about, even if, like Danny says, other people probably don't see what you see.
Mm.
Mr. Armour.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I got to see Attack on Titan. I think I've seen people really, really like that. So that show. So
Alejandro Morales said, Nicolas, the type of honesty is the same that it takes for anyone to be able to laugh about oneself.
yeah, I'm pretty. I mean, that's my defense mechanism. To just laugh about myself, or my humor usually is my. You know, if I'm uncomfortable, I'm usually like if I'm feeling like I'm shy. Like,
you go
turn my defense
wild,
mechanism
yeah.
on, and I'm like super social, like super extrovert. And if I feel uncomfortable, I'll always just interrupt to make a super bad joke. That's just, you know, it is what it is.
Gabriel Pozo said, both paintings, Nico's and Danny's, somehow do reflect a similar energy. It's very interesting, very cool.
Thank you.
Robin said, I see a stress doll.
I love it. Yes. I would grab that as a stress doll.
Your mom said, it's so great painting.
Okay. No, I know. My mom will like anything I do, so she's amazing.
Vista said, I think an image like this is so powerful because it's as if the feeling of being in your skin is portrayed in an incredible light. It's as if you stepped out of the shadows and exposed yourself. This is the Nicolas from the other side of the little door.
That's really cool. That's really cool. Fed would have loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
She loves that
comparison.
movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Catherine said, wonderful painting, but this is obvious your perception. I can't believe these proportions are correct.
Oh.
You've got to be nicer for yourself. It's courageous, though, to share your feelings with us.
Oh yeah, there wouldn't be a shirt that would fit me if these were my proportions.
And Catherine
They
said,
usually don't. I'm supposed to be like medium, but because my back is like my trunk is wide or barrel chested, whatever, it's always like shorter on me, and then it just feels like I've never had a t-shirt that I feel comfortable on with. Never.
But for
Never in my
example,
life.
you talk about your back,
Yeah.
and I love your back because I've told you, like, I really love how it is.
Yeah, because you love to like, it's
no,
like a
there's
cave.
not a reason. No, because that's the thing that happens. Like, I always say something that I love about your body, and you're like, oh, you love it because blah, or you love it because whatever.
Like
no.
we say.
I mean, I know you're feeling uncomfortable,
Yeah,
and you just want
100%.
to end the
Oh my
stream.
God, where is
But,
the eject button?
But I really love that of your body.
I could
So.
go through the roof.
Catherine also said, you're a beautiful person. By the way, you look very huggable like that.
Though Danny, I'm sure would agree.
Master Mosh
Oh,
said,
there we
super
go.
cool, Nico.
But I actually enjoyed when you were M4573 RM05H.
Yeah.
Mehdi
Mehdi
Adrekni.
Adrekni said, shadow of the head.
Yeah, that cat
That's
shadow is
super
really
cool.
cool. I like that too.
Mm,
I wonder if the tattoos would have been detracted from the body as well. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, I guess this sort of out of body feel to it meant that, you know, I was going for like, I don't know, as if my body was like this archetype, and it just like, not, I mean, saying bare bones body, it wouldn't really fit this depiction, but just in that sense, it's just body. It's just this pound of flesh, and I just had to like separate the things that would make it have a story, I would say. Although there is like a cool story, not a cool story, but stuff that I've noticed about my body through the years. I had my appendix removed when I was 15, I think I was. And so, let me see. So this is, oh my God, I can't do this. Okay, I have to look to. So this is how my body turns, like my lower abdomen turns. It just goes oblique and then turns into my lower abdomen. So it's just one kind of big curve. But because they took that bit of like, you know, I don't know, like flesh from there, this one doesn't do that. This side doesn't do that. This side actually breaks. So because there's the scar here, like on that side, that's the scar. And so it breaks. So I like that my belly has like two different hemispheres because of that. It's a dumb thing, but I kind of like it.
Margo Delgado dice, me parece una pintura muy honesta, real. Juan Cueva said, I really like this painting. I like the application of painting the figure, and I love the background application. I now want to try a background like this for my work.
Cool.
Catherine said, I love the blue and pink accents.
Blue is black. That's ivory black, you know, playing the role of blue. I gotta see, like, try to remember this image. I mean, you don't have to try. We could just, you know, find another way to like see it. But when you look at the painting, Danny, like see if it's like way too far off in terms of temperature. But I don't think it is. When we take it outside, I think it's going to look a lot cooler.
Cody Winnicky said, a possible answer could be how you see Nicolas. It might sort of be twisted in the other direction. You know?
Cody.
Like rose-colored glasses, kind of.
Oh, Cody, don't get into the train that is Danny's intent in front of the train.
Ivan said,
she will wreck you.
So cute. Leah said, yup, tree trunk. .com is taken.
Yeah, that was a long shot.
Elena Godina dice, hermosa pintura, me encanta la honestidad y lo abierto que eres hablando de la vulnerabilidad. And Ryan Sarah said, do you know how I could layer paint thickly and have it smooth to paint on? Also, what's your opinion on copying art styles? Maybe we can talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, but I could do a sort of abbreviated answer. Like, how could I paint thickly but have it smooth to paint on? I would still need to poke a little bit at that just to try to understand what you're saying. Like, have it smooth after the paint has dried, for example. So put a lot of paint, wait till it dries, and then, you know, paint it on a second layer, or layer a lot of paint as if you were doing like an alla prima painting, but layer it but apply it in a way in which it's smooth and not kind of brushy or chunky or, you know, very sculptural. That's just handling. In both cases, it would be handling, and you just have to have like a soft touch. Probably, you know, use a bunch of softer brushes, like natural hair brushes would be great for that, for sure. Like soft natural hairs, so that when you apply a lot of paint, you don't leave the trace of your strokes. You just try to minimize like that, the trailing of that brush on your surface. So you can do that. You can totally do that. But I would love to know exactly what you're going for. And like you said, I love Richard Schmid, but every time I feel I'm lower quality version. Yeah, that's what happened to the hundreds of painters that paint like Richard Schmid, but not as good as Richard Schmid. Because if you learn from Richard Schmid, but you try to do Richard Schmid, you're never going to be as good as him.
There's already a Richard Schmidt.
Yeah,
so
there was an incredible painter that was Richard Schmidt, and if you try to understand yourself in his terms, you are not going to be able to do that. So you can learn from Richard Schmidt, but then become your own painter. I think that's always the point. So try to figure out, outside like the superficial qualities of paint, what it is that you like about him. Like, try to understand what it is that you like about how he constructs a painting or his subject matter. And, but in doing so, try to separate yourself from the painting as much as you can. Because the closer you are to the painting, the harder it is to see anything else than the painting. You start believing that that's the only thing you can see. That, if you want to paint like Richard Schmidt, you just have to copy what he does, and not really. I mean, there was a ton of intent behind Schmidt's work. So, yeah. So when you're learning, particularly with teachers that can have such a powerful effect. In my case, it was Steve Assell or Max Ginsberg, but I would say the one that had the sort of that packed the bigger punch, and not that it meant that Steve was a better painter. I actually see them both as like the same, to be honest. But watching Steve paint was just super, super powerful, and it was very, very hard to try to understand that he was teaching you how to paint, and to separate that from just trying to paint like him. All of us when we were younger, I don't think we understood what that meant, and you don't have the maturity or the mental fortitude, or you just don't know much, enough about paint at that moment. So you kind of lean on the side of the balance where you're just emulating what they're doing. But like I said, I mean, Steve has had also hundreds upon hundreds of students, and I've seen a lot of people that kind of paint like him, but they're not as good as Steve. So whenever you put yourself, under those circumstances where you believe that your training is to be that person, you're never ever gonna advance. You're never gonna realize, the painter that you are, and you're never gonna go down the path that is gonna eventually show you, what you should become, or the painter that you are going to become. So at some point we have to learn how to learn from other people, and that's super, super important. That's very difficult to do, but it's super important. So there are great new soft synthetics. Yeah, Liad is very knowledgeable about synthetic brushes. Ryan, so maybe, I don't know if today, see, that's why if we had like, what is that called? Like the forum where everyone could, I forget now. But if we had one of those Reddit things, people could go and
Reddit?
then, well, not Reddit. I forget. I for some reason it came out of it left my brain.
Something with
Discord. Yeah.
I was thinking disconnect.
Yeah. So
Discord, yeah.
Yeah. So if we had a Discord, they could be, maybe Ryan could ask Leah to give him some suggestions about painting, about brushes. Layering the paint almost sculpturally, very thickly, then painting the portrait on top of that where the underneath layers are malleable. So you're describing like Nicola Samori. That's kind of Nicola Samori. Yeah. And Discord, Nicholas.
Yeah, Discord.
I love how everyone's like,
Discord,
Nicholas, Discord. So Ryan, I may be mistaken, but literally what you are describing is Nicola Samori. And you know who did? Because for the longest time I tried to do experiments and I failed miserably at it. But Tim Wilson, actually, Tim is like super, super knowledgeable of paint also. And Tim was doing some experiments with trying to do that, like a Nicola Samori layer. Because what you're describing literally is like Samori would just lay tons of paint. And what he does, and this is the step that you're missing, that I kind of intuitively thought that was what you were supposed to do, but I never did it. But Tim did it. Tim Wilson did do it, and he did it perfectly. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to flash dry the surface. And what that means is that, if you put like let's say you're caking in your paint layer. So, the paint layer is going to be that thick. It's going to be super, super thick. So you don't need, I'm such an idiot with this. You don't need all of this paint to dry, right? You don't. All you need for your paint to be dry is this layer, this outer skin. That's all you need for it to dry, right? But that usually takes a long time because, if you're trying to oxidize all this amount of paint, it'll take a long time. So what you do to make sure that all of this is still super, super fresh, but you can actually work on top, is you flash dry it, which means like you just have to accelerate the superficial drying of that surface. And that could be done in many ways, but the easiest way to do it is just by, spraying varnish on top of it or spraying like fixative on top of that, which is what Norman Rockwell did. I know that this sounds like super weird, but Norman Rockwell, because he had to rush his paintings so much, he had to, to keep on painting. He was like, oh, the paint layer hasn't dried, but I have to keep on painting. So what he would do is he would just use like one of those little old school spray varnish things, those little tubes that eventually became like our the spray bottles that we use. He used to just spray it with I think it was with fixative even. I think it wasn't like retouch varnish or anything like that. It was literally like fixative, and then he painted on top of that, dry quote unquote layer. So maybe what you're looking at is lay in a lot of paint, try to smooth it with a whatever spatula or whatever you're using, and then just spray half a can of fixative on top. Just a lot of, not just on one layer. No, just spray 6 layers of fixative on that thing, and wear a mask and do that outside. And I think that's kind of the answer that you're looking for. And then you could pull off a Samori, like you could literally poke your painting. Like you could have this beautiful portrait and you could just stick your finger into your painting and drag it down and do amazing things. But that's what he did. I mean, my imagination goes, when thinking of what to do with what I just described, sadly, my imagination just goes as far as all the stuff that Samori has done. So, so what we were saying with Richard Schmidt, like that's super cool, but
it's like hard to try to emulate the things you like in another artist because they will always remind you of that artist.
Yeah.
And they won't feel as yours.
Yeah, and something so specific is that those techniques that Samori would use to peel paintings or to work on top of like fresh paint. They're so beautifully simple but advanced that it's just him. Like it works so beautifully for him that I'm almost like, I wish I could have done that. Like I wish I was the one who would have done that in the first place. But now that you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that belongs to you. Like that's you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be a person that is very excited about what you do if I try to do something like that. But it's never going to feel like I can do something with it, So, anyways, Discord. I think we're done. Discord, Danny.
Discord?
Discord. Type 1 in the chat if you wanted to make a Discord. And Liad is 1.
But only Liad.
I think it's going to be sad, Liad. Because it's good. We should leave that little 1 as a little floating island there. That just to remind us that it's a sad day for our Discord. Or maybe our Discord can be as popular as our TikTok.
So you can check it out.
Anyways.
At Our Painted Lives 46 followers. Don't miss it. Don't miss
if-
on it. Don't miss it.
Don't miss it. Yeah.
Don't miss it.
Don't
Don't sleep on it.
Don't sleep on it. That's what you would say. So, this is our book.
Yeah, our Kickstarter book.
This is our
This one.
This
It's not hard. I mean, you just have to point down.
This is our Kickstarter book.
Yeah.
And it's still up. It's 20 some days to go.
Yeah.
20-ish. No, not even. I think we're under 20. Let me see.
It's until the 13th.
Let me see. Talk amongst yourselves.
Look. 19 days to
19
go. Wow.
days to go. We're doing super well.
Yeah.
I think somebody took out a pledge, but that's totally fine. Yeah. But I always love when I know that it's gone higher and then it goes lower.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I love you. Thank you for,
Unsupporting.
Yeah, unsubscribe. Anyways, by the way, you're currently running in 2 different locations in my house, 2 different YouTube accounts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be sure that
to
you
give
be
them
sure
like
to like with both
and
accounts.
subscribe from both.
Subscribe with both,
Thank
Robin.
you, Robin.
And ring the bell in both. So, anyways.
No, you're amazing.
Anyways, I think we're good.
Thank you, everyone. Thank
We're
you,
gonna
everyone. Thank you for this conversation.
Thank you.
You can look at me.
No,
when I talk. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and thank you for the conversation.
No, it was a tough one. It was a tough
hard
one
for you.
It was very hard.
I love to have this.
Yeah.
Again,
well,
as I always say, I love to have. But you don't know what I'm gonna say.
Oh,
I love to have this space.
Okay.
To talk about things that sometimes are complicated to talk.
Yeah.
Or easy to talk, or dumb, or whatever. But today was a hard conversation. I think.
I'm dying here.
That was amazing. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
For joining us.
Worst day ever for me.
And
I'm gonna paint like a hot dog.
That's
2
so
weeks from
sweet.
now.
Adam said, "I just pledged, so hopefully."
Oh
even
no!
out. That's
Thank you.
so nice,
No,
Adam. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love that Stan just said this word.
Little late Stan, but thank you. You're right. You're right. That was the word I was looking for.
Thank you, everyone.
Anyways.
We'll see you tomorrow in a painting session again, and.